Welcome to yet another fantasy hockey draft live in studio. Pretty sure I'm going to be solo tonight. I don't think Paul's going to make it. Wah, wah. But I will try and do as much commentary as possible while drafting my team. We have it all set up right now. We're doing the draft through Fantrax. I have not personally used Fantrax for any fantasy sports at all. I've always used Yahoo. Maybe one on ESPN and another one, I think, through NHL.com, which was, I didn't like it very much. The reason I wanted to do Fantrax is it's gotten awesome reviews. I use Dauber Hockey for my fantasy hockey guides, have been since 2006, I believe, 2005 maybe. A lot of their guys recommend it. It's really great for keeper leagues. Yahoo's not quite really... Yahoo's good, but it has its limitations. Fantrax is very customizable. So in a way, I was kind of doing this as a test run for my big league that I've been doing since 2006. And I meant to bring the cup in. I did not. We do a Stanley Cup replica. It's about, I don't know, this big. And you get your name engraved on it for the winners. So unfortunately, we would not have a trophy for that for these leagues. But we did have enough fans sign up for 2 different leagues. So we did one draft last night. We kind of had a snafu towards the end, which I think I fixed for today. So sorry for last night if you joined and or if you're in that league, because you were kind of the guinea pigs to figure out the other league. So the other league should be running smoothly. So last night I had everything set up for randomized draft order, and last night in the first league I was first overall, which I did not want. I tried to get rid of because I knew everyone was just going to give me shade for it. Today, randomly, it was randomized. I have the 11th pick, so I'm in a complete other spectrum here. So I kind of like the 11th pick better because it's almost like I have to make less of a choice because some of the guys that I would really want obviously are already going to be taken. When you have that first overall pick, it's like, oh man, it's like too much pressure because most likely the guy that I'm going to pick is probably going to be hurt last year. So my league last year, I used my not first overall pick, but my first round pick on Taylor Hall, and he was out from Christmas on through the rest of the season. But he wasn't just out. It was, he's kind of hurt. He's going to be out for like a week. Okay. And then a week goes by. It might be another week. Okay. And it just kept going, and they're dragging it on. And then towards the end of the season, like, we're just going to shut him down. Thanks. There goes my first round pick. Anyway, we got a 2-minute countdown right now, and then this draft will get started. So, I noticed last night doing the draft, and I didn't do any mock drafts for Fantrax. I probably should have, but I just didn't have the time to do it. A lot of the rankings are really bad. I think I got a couple steals in there last night. What I did today and what they allow you to do is upload your own rankings. Like you can, instead of hand picking and putting them in order, you can put it into an Excel sheet and CSV doc and upload it, which I did to save some time. So I took Dauber's rankings and put them in here. So the top 200 players are in that ranking. Now the funny thing is, excuse me, the ranking, he does not have goalies in his ranking. It's a separate sheet. Excuse me. So right now my 1 through 200 players is all skaters. So I'm going to have to remember to get off of that list and go look at the goalies at some point.
Probably you got questions if you fixed the player issue that we saw last night.
I did. So I fixed the player issue. So the problem was in the settings, and this was my fault. It's not Fantrax's fault. User error. In the settings, there was one on there for how many active skaters can you have, and I took skaters to mean skaters, not goaltenders. And so we have 14 active skaters, including the goalies, and I set it to 12. So when we had our goalies in the goalie positions, it kept saying it's an illegal roster when you're trying to fill in those 2 other ones. And when we're trying to draft them, the same thing. We're trying to draft players. It's kind of confusing. You'll see it as we go. If you put it back on the screen, James, the draft room, you fill in your player positions on the right over here. So 2 centers, 2 left wingers, right wingers, and then you have these reserve spots at the bottom. Well, there's 16 of these spots, or I'm sorry, 14, and I had it limited to 12. So that's what the problem was. So I fixed it. So now it should be good because as soon as I changed that setting, I couldn't even set my lineup for the team that I had drafted yesterday. I couldn't set it today because of that problem. So we are off the first overall pick is starting. And I think I have... Yeah, I set the time for 1 minute per pick, so it won't take too long. I might have even done... Maybe next year I'll do 30 seconds just to get it quicker. So SJS, and I can't tell if he's online because the arrow is in the way. So we'll see. I see Carmichael Zamboners are not on. Tallahassee Turtles is not online, and Killicali is not online. But it looks like everyone else is, except maybe for this first guy who's about to time out. So
explain what happens if you're not logged in.
If you're not logged in, you get auto drafted. So whatever the rankings you have, so Kucherov just went first overall, which is who I took first overall. Whatever your ranking is set, and it could be the default, it'll take basically the highest player available, but it also kind of bases it on what positions you have. So if you already have enough defensemen or centers or left wingers, it's not going to draft you one of those. It'll draft you a position that you need. And again, Fantrax is very customizable. You can go into your settings beforehand. For if you know you're going to miss the draft, you can set your rankings beforehand. You can also tell it kind of to pick based on active slots or whatever. So Ovechkin went second overall, which is interesting. That means 2 nights in a row, McDavid. Wow, McKinnon is third overall. McDavid has fallen to the 4th overall pick, and I would hope that they would take McDavid here. McDavid last night fell to 3rd overall. I took Kucherov first, and then the guy behind me took McKinnon, which is interesting because I don't think McKinnon is going to be as strong. I don't think he's going to get as many points as Connor McDavid. Any questions over there, Jay?
No. YouTube's quiet. I don't know if you see stuff in your chat in Fantrax.
Well, the problem with Fantrax is it's mixed of chat and the picks.
Yeah.
So like it just scrolls and scrolls really fast when it gets going.
And we're covering that on the screen just for possible language issues, but also Aaron's bottom corner has a Q. We don't want to show off his Q, even though he openly talked about everything
right there
last night with Paul.
Normally the Q is right there where the Fin Factor logo is.
Yeah.
But we'll use to add people to my queue. You're going to see me do this, and it goes boop, and it puts it down there. So, all right. Eric Carlson just went. Brent Burns just went. Andrei Vasilevsky just went. Wow. Man. This is crazy. So I knew there's going to be some Sharks homer picks just because we're all Sharks fans pretty much. I think everyone in these leagues are Sharks fans. So I really don't pick Sharks players unless there's some good value there. I always try and find good value on the picks. Last night, I did draft Martin Jones in the 5th round, which looking back on it's like, it's kind of a reach. But I do have 3 goalies. I picked him up, and I picked up Tuukka Rask, and I have the goalie in Colorado. Blanking on his name. Grubauer. Thank you, whoever just yelled it out. Leon Draisaitl just got picked, number 8th overall, and I got a couple more picks, and I'm hoping I can get... I'm looking at... I like Brad Marchand because our league... Oh, there it is. I'm going to take him. In our league, we count penalty minutes, and Marchand gets penalty minutes along with a bunch of other stuff and points, and he's a left winger. So left wingers are a little bit harder to come by, elite ones. So I like doing that. So I'm going to take him and draft him, and he's going to see him go into my left wing slot. So now I'm actually going to be picking again. So last night I said my draft strategy, I wasn't quite sure, but I knew one of those days I wanted to take goalies kind of early, which I think last night I took them a little early. So this time I'm going to go a little bit later on goalies and try and stock up on as much talent as I can. So we'll see which league I do better in, I guess. So Patrick Kane just went after me, and the guy gets to pick again. Now I get to pick... Man, I think I'm going to take Crosby right now in the 2nd round. Oof. Or I could go Taylor Hall, who burned me last year, and that's so hard. It's so hard. But that's another left winger. So Mitch Marner is there. I kind of like Mitch. let's look at the. I'm gonna go by average draft position. I should probably take Crosby. I know a lot of Sharks fans out there say, "Ooh, Crosby," but it is Crosby. Oh, it's so hard. It's so. All right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Oh, I hate myself for doing it, but I'm doing it. Oh yeah, that's good value. That's the way I look at it. It's good value. Um,
So how long have you been doing a draft, and how many times have you won?
so I started a league in 2005 as like a test run with a bunch of buddies. Most of them had never played either fantasy sports or fantasy hockey. Um, Most of them didn't know much about hockey. They were at that time they were pretty much all football and maybe a little bit of baseball, and that was it. So we started a league, and the first year we did no money buy-in, no nothing, just everyone get used to it, figure it out, learn the players. Um, and then the second year is when we started the league, and we had the cup, and we always do a live in-person draft where we have big draft boards, and we made a couple rules over the years. It's a keeper league, and over the years the rules just kept morphing and changing and evolving. So we're pretty happy with the way it's set up now, and everyone understands it. I do have a Google Doc page that shows I'm a stats geek, so I keep track of all the head-to-head over the years and who has the best overall record, since we started. I've won it once in 2010, so my name is on the cup once. We have two guys that have won it 3 times, and I think another two guys that have won it twice. And then I think me and maybe only one other guy that's won it only once. Maybe two other guys.
Do you have pictures of the cup?
I do. Here, let me pull up the. You still see my screen?
No, I'm on you. But I'll show him your
But
screen.
you can
once you're
see
ready.
it'll load here in a second. That's not really a full picture, but the Google Doc. Sorry guys, I'm using your real names here, but here's the overall standings. Is that too small?
Yeah, you have to zoom in.
There. It's kind of a bad word on there, but that's our overall standings, win percentage, and everything. And I am at the top, but regular season, I'm kind of like the Sharks. I'm good in the regular season, and I've only won. Well, maybe not like the Sharks. This is our head-to-head overall versus everybody. This is the win percentage versus everybody. I'll show you our draft real quick. Here's our keepers. We do contract years, so you sign guys to contract years. And then this is what the draft board kind of looks like. All the yellows are keepers. The reds are draft picks that were traded during the season before. So you're allowed to trade draft picks for the next year. And then it makes the draft a little funky because there's so many keepers. So for me on my team, the value is where you keep the people where you draft them. So one year I drafted Mikko Rantanen before he blew up in the 17th round, which is insane. And so obviously I kept him for like 5 years because even a 60-point player, if he just dips to a 60-point player, there's still value there. As a 17th round pick, I gotta check to see where I'm at here. Still got a ways. Panarin's gone, Carlson's gone, Taylor Hall. You know what? Another part of my strategy is I think I'm going to take some defensemen, at least one, pretty early, because those elite guys go pretty quick. So, what's wrong with Hedman? Is he hurt? Let's take a look. He got injured. He's day to day, but he's expected to start the season. So I'm going to add him to my queue. I'm going to add, I like Klingberg, and I don't want to take Krug only because I already have Marchand. I try to diversify my people here. So, and this shows you right now it's set to projected, what they're projected to get on the season. I guess I could take Morgan Rielly. That looks pretty good. And, yeah, let's get out of defense and go back to all.
Now, is it counting you down to make a selection?
Not for me, because I'm still, if you look over to the right, you can't even actually see me yet because I'm towards the bottom. Oh, I'm at the very bottom right there. So I got a ways to go. So you can't see the queue because we have it covered, but you essentially like you can go through while it's not your turn, and you can pick players like I want this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and you can put a whole queue of a bunch of players down below. So when it is your turn, you can just go to that list instead of going to the big list. So it kind of saves you some time. And right now I'm Carey Price just went, Braden Holtby went. I bet this round you're going to see a lot of goalies go. So I hope I don't. I hope I don't. Trying to think of the word to say that's family friendly. Mess my team up by not picking a elite goalie. But we shall see. I like Claude Giroux. That's some pretty good value because he is a center, left wing, and right winger, so he can fit into the lineup anywhere. I also like to look by average draft position. That's like the average overall. Man, I can't believe Austin Matthews is still around. So is wait, did he just go? Let's say Tavares too, but he just went. Man, I like Mitch Marner, and he just got paid, so that bodes well. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a defenseman, the highest one I could find, and then I'll take Mitch Marner if he's there, and if not, Claude Giroux. And if they're not there, then I'll take someone else. Anything else in that chat over there?
Yeah, so less than 24 hours until the Sharks hockey is back. Do you have a prediction for the game tomorrow?
Man, not having Evander Kane, it's not going to bode well for the Sharks. I mean, they were already kind of light on wingers as it was. So
what happened to Evander Kane?
Evander Kane, if you did not see the video or the news.
If you've been living in a hole.
The last preseason game against Vegas, 2 days ago now, he got into an altercation with England, and he slashed him. As he slashed him, he kind of hit the linesman and England. So the linesman was kind of hot. They kind of skated apart. The linesman thought that Kane was going to go after England again, and so he grabbed him by the chest to hold him back, and it ended up they got tangled up and they fell to the ground. And Kane's like, "What are you doing?" And he got up and he kind of pushed the ref, like off of him, the linesman, not the ref. And that's a big no-no. So 3 games. He's lucky he didn't get an extra couple games. Oh, that's my pick right now. He's lucky he didn't get an extra couple games for the slash because he hit the ref with him. Let's see. I'm going to take, real quick. I'm going to take Victor Hedman. I think that's a pretty good value for 3rd round. And maybe I go defenseman heavy here instead. But you know what? I'm going to go Mitch Marner. Ooh, Claude Giroux. Oh, man. What do you think, Jay? Mitch Marner or Claude Giroux? You know nothing about fantasy sports.
I can't even read the stats because the screen is so small.
Don't worry about the stats. What name do you like better?
Go by the alphabet. Who's first alphabetically?
Giroux? Okay. I'll take Giroux.
And then you'll blame me the rest of the season.
Oh, of course.
And I'll have forgotten even how to pronounce the guy's name.
Claude Giroux.
Yeah.
Did I take him?
Claude Van Damme. That guy.
Oh, I didn't take him. I forgot. I was thinking I was back-to-back picks. Team Benson took Claude Giroux. So there you go.
It is not my fault.
I'm going to take Mitch Marner. That made my... I was like, what happened? I just drafted him. Mitch Marner. 4th round. That's pretty good. So now the next round, I'm going to take another defenseman. Probably... I don't know who's listening. I'm sure the guys... I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say his name because I think some of the guys that are in the draft are watching me. So
or listening in the background.
Yep. So I don't want to do that. Sorry, I was getting rid of that screen. So
just a bit on the Kane conversation. Kane will miss the next 2 games against the Golden Knights and a game against Anaheim Ducks on October 5th. So there's a Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday match that he will miss.
Yes. Game.
Match of soccer.
Jason's more of a soccer guy. I don't blame the league or the refs. I do. I think it was a big miscommunication between the linesmen. I'm sure he was a little hot-headed because he had just gotten whacked with a stick, and he has no padding on, so that hurts. Kane kind of has a reputation for having a hot head, and I'm not discounting anything. The ref was in the wrong. I think the linesman was in the wrong, and Kane was in the wrong. They were both in the wrong. I'm glad it was only 3 games because I think it could have been more. I think it could have been closer to 5 because of the slash. So I think he's a little bit lucky in a way, but
they could have sent a message too. They could have made it double, like 10 games, to send a message.
I also think they should suspend the linesman.
Well, yeah,
there should be some kind of reprimand.
To the Sharks.
But even if they do that, I don't think they would ever make that public because there's no reason for them to.
Right.
So I don't think. Maybe they did. Maybe he's not going to be a linesman for a couple games.
Not going to work here anymore. Like last night's joke.
Mm-hmm. So who knows?
But San Jose professional teams have been getting the raw end of the stick, so to speak, from officiating, especially even in soccer too. We've been talking about that on our other show. But with this one, we hope no more referee controversy for the Sharks.
There's no conspiracy going on.
No.
There's no people were like, "Oh, see, the league hates the Sharks." No, it was a bad thing that happened, and he should have gotten punished like they did. So I think they both should have gotten punished.
So people in the YouTube chat, they are watching and drafting, and snarkily, Luis Vasquez says, "No, we would never listen." LOL.
Yeah, so I need to be quiet on my strategies and my queue. At least the queue is covered, but I mean, they can, if they're really paying attention, they can see me click the button to add them to my queue. Morgan Riley's gone. That's where I was hoping it would fall for the next round. And Malkin's gone. I thought Malkin was pretty good value right now. Because Malkin also gets penalty minutes. He gets kind of a hot head too, and he's probably going to have a bounce-back season.
So if people out there want to run their own Fantrax fantasy league of any kind of sport, what's your recommendation for like how many people they should conjure up to do this to make it fun?
Typically, I know for hockey and football, standard is 12. 12 makes it a little bit more challenging. When you get 10 or even 8-team leagues, there's so many unless you make your rosters really large, and then it gets a little tiresome. It's just there's too many guys that will be on the free agent list that are good, and it would be too easy to be like, this guy's terrible, or he hasn't done anything for the week. I'm just going to drop him and pick up somebody else. So I think 12 is a good number, which is why we have 12 in our league. I could have done a one league with 24 people, but that would have been really hard and would have been small rosters. It wouldn't feel as good. And I think when you start losing, and especially there's nothing on the line because we're not charging anything for this, people check out. Like I won't be surprised if both these leagues, there's always like 1 or 2 people that will just check out and they just never even log in. They just forget about it, or they don't care, or they don't get it, or they don't like it. It's not fun for them, and so they just stop doing it. What makes it fun is when people are involved and committed to playing. That's what makes it fun. When you have constantly people, like my other league, there's even that league, there's a couple of guys that just don't really log in or do much. But there's a handful, probably at least half the league, they're making daily transactions. Like you have to stay on top of everything. You see a guy get hurt on your team, you're picking up like especially a goalie. A goalie gets hurt, you're picking up that backup right away. Otherwise you're SOL. So that makes it a lot more fun. It is hard to get 12 people together and do a team. You have to get 11 other friends, which, I mean, I have a lot of friends, but maybe not 11 friends that play hockey. Obviously I do because I have a hockey league, but even then they weren't all of my friends. Like they were friends of friends that were playing already. Like we replaced some guys that dropped. So, I mean, over the years we've had, I don't know if you look back at that sheet, we probably had, out of the 12 teams, there's probably 16 of us that played, maybe more, maybe 17 or 18. So we've had some guys come and go. It's just the nature of the beast with life. You know, it's a fancy sport. It's not real.
I can't even get a friend to go with me to the Game of Thrones concert on Thursday.
Yeah. If anyone wants to go to the Game of Thrones concert with Jason, he's looking for someone to go. Is that the SAP Center?
No, it's Shoreline.
Oh.
VIP.
VIP.
Which I think just makes you cut the food line or alcohol line. I don't know.
All right, I'm going to take Klingberg here. That's going to give me 2 solid defensemen, Hedman and Klingberg. And then, who am I going to take next? kind of have one of each for forward, so whatever the best forward is, let's take a look. Looking at both the average draft position and my ranking.
And if you guys are hearing a computer fan noise, that's Aaron's PC working overtime because we're casting this for your enjoyment.
Yeah. I did not get him, so maybe I should go here. I'm going to do this. I'm also trying not to take guys that I picked in my other league, just to keep the teams very separate. And so far, so good. I don't have anyone that I picked last night.
I think your advice is helping people so far, too. Josh says, I listen to what you say and make sure I don't do that.
What's that, multiple guys on the same team? It's really hard because you go, oh, I'll just take the next best player, and then you look back and you go, I have 4 guys from the same team, and almost every team in the NHL is going to get shut out at one point, and that just ruins your week. When you get a shutout, your team gets shut out, and let's say each player is a -2, and you have 4 guys, that's -8. That just, you're dead in that category. So you really want to kind of spread things out. Sorry, I'm up picking right now. I think I'm going to take Couturier of Philly rather than Monahan. Oof, man.
Go alphabetically.
I like your strategy. I like their colors better. What did Monahan do last year? He had 82 points, point per player. And Couturier, how did he do? 76 points.
That's you.
You hear that? It's my computer. It's the draft room.
We're probably going to owe a needle drop on that.
Oh, I took too long. So it took him. That's what that sound was.
Oh.
That was a 10-second warning. I was wondering why. I was like, what is it doing? Oh, man. I'm terrible. All right. Sorry, guys. It's hard to comment and draft and do some research and add guys to my queue.
And you up again?
Mm-mm. Not for a while.
Oh.
That was my second one. So I had drafted John Klingberg of Dallas. He's a defenseman. And then I got Sean Couturier of the Flyers. So I also noticed I pick a lot of guys from the Eastern Conference. Over the years, I feel like the Eastern Conference tends to play a little bit looser and have a little bit more scoring than the West Coast. Maybe it's a little bit different now. It's probably still my mindset a little bit. And that's because, let's say 10 years ago, you had Anaheim, LA, the Sharks were super heavy, big, hard-hitting teams that moved the puck slow, and they were always winning games by 1 goal. And then you get the East Coast teams. You had Pittsburgh, and look at last year with Tampa Bay, they were just blowing out teams, so there's just a lot of scoring. So I always tend, and I don't know if it's on purpose, but I tend to lean towards Eastern Conference teams more. One other strategy, which I talked about last night for fantasy purposes, the way our league is set up, you set your lineup daily, which means our week goes from Monday to Sunday. You have all the guys at your team that you draft, all those guys. Most NHL games are Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So if you have all of your guys on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and nobody on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, you're going to probably have to bench some guys, and you have to choose who to play. And then you're losing out on points. Like you could be benching a guy who gets a hat trick, and you're like, oh man. So you kind of want to spread it out. So there's certain teams that, I should probably take a goalie. We're in the 7th round. You should pick some guys that play on the off days, what they say, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Just a quick hint, Carolina plays a lot of Sunday matinee games, which helps because they're the last games of the week in our fantasy week. Their home games are usually on Sundays. I think it's Chicago usually plays Wednesdays and Fridays. Anaheim does a lot of Monday, Wednesday games. So some of these teams, if you're picking between 2 players, like let's say it's an it's a guy who's kind of ranked very similar to another guy, same position, but one plays for Anaheim and one plays for the Sharks. You should probably pick the Anaheim guy because they're not going to play on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So that's a little insight there for you. So having said that, stop picking all the Ducks players because I want to get one on my team. I need to put some goalies in my queue. So Jason, what have you learned today?
Pick alphabetically.
What else?
Find 12 friends.
It's harder than you think. All right, I'm gonna add. Oh, whoops! Don't read that.
If you want me to cut away, just say cut away.
No, it's fine. Any other questions on the YouTube feed?
Yeah, one is what would be considered a successful season this year for the Sharks? I think 2 words.
Stanley Cup.
Yeah, that's my answer.
I think a successful season, other than the Stanley Cup, is seeing those young guys step up. We're going to need a lot of help with the younger guys. They're going to have to fill in those holes that we lost Pavelski, Donskoy, and Nyquist, and that's essentially a whole line right there. So, like I'm wearing my Pavelski shirt from last year's playoffs. Singled here.
It just doubled in value, I bet.
Yeah, doubled in value. Yeah. I think if we see those young guys step up, I think the Sharks will be fine. I think Paul and I kind of talked about it on our live 2 nights ago. If we see a healthy Carlson, not Melker, I think what we talked about last season is that he's the kind of player that he's such a great playmaker that he helps everybody on the ice. It's not just, like we talked about Carlson versus getting Tavares when we thought we were going to sign Tavares. Tavares would have helped one scoring line of forwards, whereas Carlson's helping all 4 lines of forwards if they're playing with him at the same time. He's helping the power play. He's helping moving that puck, transitioning it out of the defense, up the ice quickly, which not a lot of defensemen can do. So I think Carlson is kind of valued more than somebody like Tavares would be because of that reason. But it also helps. I mean, you think about LeBank's season last year. I think he had 60 points. If we didn't have Carlson on the team, and I know he missed a lot of time, but you could just take everybody's points and bring them down about 5%, maybe even 10%. Like, that's the value that he adds to everybody. Look at Brendan Dillon. He had a career year last year in points because he was playing with Carlson. So a healthy Carlson is going to be vital for the Sharks to do well. I'm up. Did you hear that? I'm going to take my first goalie. And I'm going to take Hellebuck.
Who's your first goalie?
Hellebuck.
I didn't know he was a goalie.
I just said Hellebuck.
I know.
He's the Winnipeg Jets goalie. And we'll see. He did okay last year, and this year their defensemen are going to be very poor. So we'll see. Next, I'm going to take who we got left.
You going to say?
I'm not going to say it because I'm pretty sure this Team
cut
Benson
away.
guy is is listening in.
It's a secret now.
Yeah.
You got one more question on the YouTube, but I have a question. Do you
Sure.
guys go through any kind of hazing of new guys into your fantasy league, or alternately, how do you punish the person who performs the worst in the league?
Oh, so what I was gonna say for my big money league, the person who gets last place in the regular season has to bring all the beer to the draft the following year, and then whoever loses the consolation playoffs, I'm trying to think of a better word for it, has to serve all of the beer to everybody in the draft. And I think once or twice there's a guy, he took DeBrincat. I was going to take him right now. Once or twice, there was a guy who was both. He had to bring the beer and serve it, which is pretty rough. So, I mean, it sucks when you have to serve the beer because you're also drafting for your own team, and you have to get up and get anyone a drink whenever they're ready. So the funny thing is, over the years, people would you'd also bring the glasses that you wanted to serve in, because we used to actually do kegs. Now we don't. And they would bring. One year, my buddy Dave brought big gulps, the 64-ounce big gulps, and would fill them with beer so he didn't have to fill them up again. Complete with straws too, big metal straws. All right, I think I'm gonna go another defenseman. Ooh, this is rough. This is tough. And I got 30 seconds. Let's see. You know what? I think I'm gonna take Couture.
That's what I was gonna say.
I think that's a good pick right now. In the what are we in?
Uh-oh. The Oregon. That's a 15-second warning.
Done. You know what? I was looking at average time per pick. I was like, oh, I got 30 seconds. Nope. I was looking at the wrong one.
Blue counter.
Whoops.
Okay, question from YouTube. Since Paul is not here, what embarrassing stories do we have about him? Trying to keep something going on in the chat room.
Oh, man.
We have so many.
Paul and I met when we were in kindergarten, so we've been friends for a very long time. I gotta think of some family-friendly stuff.
We've also made movies all together for school, for class projects, when a teacher gives you enough leeway to say, oh yeah, you can do a presentation or you can record a video. So we made epic films.
This was back in
99?
high school
2000?
in the late 90s. Yeah. 98, because it was our sophomore year, I believe. Not freshman, it was sophomore year.
And I talked to people at work about, I used to cut that video on a Pinnacle editing box, which is super old school, but those things are indestructible. If anyone did video editing back in the day, Avid ended up buying them a couple years later, but a lot of people I work with came from those Pinnacle days and the Avid days. But yeah, everything was a James Bond theme. I do remember that. And was Paul James Bond? Who was James Bond?
I think I was James Bond and he was Cochise.
Oh, yeah.
From the Sabotage video of Beastie Boys.
That's right. We had a weird crossover.
It was a Spanish video, and so that video, that specific one, we recorded everything in English, and then we dubbed over it in Spanish
to fulfill the assignment.
Right,
it has to be in Spanish.
So our Spanish was we had to basically look up everything and write it down, and then we spoke over, so everything was dubbed in. So it looked awful. It was hilarious. I'm trying to remember the plot. Like, we basically were chasing somebody.
You had like squirt guns in the park. We did a sniper version at our high school.
Oh man.
You can't pull that off these days just because of the heightened like you don't want anything connoting violence.
Yeah, it's pretty
especially
ridiculous.
On the school grounds, but yeah, battling the bad guy, getting the gadgets, the Bond gadgets.
Yep.
That made absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
Wasn't one like a toothbrush?
Something was like a bomb or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
A watch. It was always a watch.
I haven't seen it in a very long time.
I think I have it on a hard drive. It might have to make an appearance.
Oh man.
We may need to have like a movie night, a movie screening night where we stream that.
I had hair in it.
I have no idea what the music rights are, so that's the other thing to look up. Is you guys may have to narrate over it if we can't use the music, because I think we just put every James Bond song we could find.
Well, it's in Spanish, so we should probably not have it on anyway. I think we recorded 2 versions. We did a Spanish version and an English version.
But the English version was also dubbed.
Right.
Horribly.
Right.
Like, and you guys would like emphasize moving your mouth, and then it would say like, okay.
It was terrible. In a good way.
That is probably about the most embarrassing things we have of video that we could embarrass both you guys with.
Yeah.
Luckily, I did not appear in those.
I mean, I have some pictures of us from when we were little. There's one of us I thought I sent a long time ago. We were in kindergarten and we were at it's either Happy Hollow or Visona Park. I think it was Visona in Los Gatos. One of those two. I don't know. And we were probably in either first grade maybe even kindergarten. It might have been a kindergarten field trip, something. But yeah, me and Joe and Paul, we all went kindergarten through high school together. Obviously my brother too, but he's older.
2 years older.
2 years older. But me, Paul, and Joe all have a sibling that's my brother's age.
Yep.
Obviously. So we all kind of like knew each other growing up.
I've known Joe's sister since preschool.
Yeah. You guys went to preschool together?
We did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But Joe didn't go there.
I don't recall. I don't know.
Because we went to Achiever. The school up on the hill.
Yeah. The church on the hill.
The church on the hill.
Is the school on the hill? I guess it is. It's hanging off the hill.
The church is above, the school's below it.
I don't remember.
I only remember because we've driven up there for fireworks when they used to allow you to do that.
Oh.
Long time ago. You used to be able to park there and watch the fireworks downtown. It was like a great view. But they stopped doing it because so many people were going up there. I already got Mitch Marner, so I'm not going to go after another Toronto guy. But there's another Toronto guy there. That's enticing. It's going fast now. Our average pick time's going down. We got some auto draft picks. Oh yeah, the guy before me is auto draft. That's why it's going so fast.
I think you took Luis's next pick in your last draft.
I did?
Yeah.
Why? Was he complaining?
He just says, no, that was my next pick.
Oh.
Maybe that was the goalie?
Maybe.
Boy, this makes just epic entertainment value right here.
I know. So sorry.
We should have cast this to Twitch.
Ha!
Might have been a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, we could have.
Someone might have learned something.
I'm going to grab another goalie. I'm going to take Carter Hart, which I do have in my big money league. Actually, I have Carter Hart and Hellebuck in my big money league. So
this is start to mimic that?
Awesome. I think that's the only two crossovers I have there. Yeah. And then, let's see. Team Benson, who's definitely listening in on. I'm going to pick... I need some wingers, so I'm not going to take that high-profile center that's available right now.
Cutting away.
Thanks. I got to pick very soon.
He's got to think and research.
Bum, 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 bum.
Maybe this would have been more fun live with everybody else. Laptops in the room.
Yeah, maybe next year we can do that. But, well, the
depending
people who
where
are local
at.
at least.
Yeah, where everyone's at.
That'd be fun. It's always fun in person because then you could talk smack in person of like, why did you take that guy? It's always great. I like doing the live draft where we have a board because there's stickers and you put up the sticker or they're looking for a sticker and they're like, he's already been picked. And then we have a clock, and when the clock goes, someone can steal, basically. So there's no auto draft.
Sounds like you're up again.
I'm going to take him. Bam.
Who'd you get?
I took Tara Vinen of Carolina. Going back to what I was saying about Carolina having those Sunday games. So I'll get a lot of those Sunday last-minute points, kind of.
Oh, Luis thought we were talking to Valley Christian. No. Valley Christian didn't exist on the hill when we were growing up.
Yep. No, we're talking about when you're on 87 and you're going up and over that hill before you hit Capitol Expressway if you're heading south. Right before when you're going up that hill, you just pass the Kirtner exit. On the right, you see a school and a church, and it has a globe and a cross on top.
They call it the church on the hill, I think.
Yeah.
And then Josh is confirming we're all Bellboys, right?
We are.
That is affirmative.
Go Bells. How many other Bellarmine guys are in here? I think there's at least one.
And Paul is crashing the chat room.
Hey.
It was so much better when I was there. No, really though. I think that was the best best way he would have said
Joe
that.
Thornton just went. Oof. I think that's a little early for Joe. Round 10. Man, there are so many more centers that are still available that I would take over Jumbo. Sorry, Tallahassee Turtles. I know you probably wanted a Shark to root for. Actually, you're not even logged in.
Oh,
so that was an auto pick.
Rando, huh?
Well, they must have set their rankings. They probably put nothing but Sharks players up there. Because that is way early. I should probably start adding people to the queue. So how about I do that?
Sounds like Josh Frogelin might be a Bell as well. He says, "Go Bells."
Go Bells.
Josh, tell us what year you were. I was 98.
I was 2000.
Along with Paul and Joe, 2000.
Yep.
Yeah, we'd have to think of a venue to do a live show sometime soon. I kind of want to do it.
We were offered to go to Ludwig's in downtown, which I have not been to record a live show. I'm trying to think what else.
Is that a brewery?
It's a German restaurant.
Oh, the restaurant, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's right next to the other German restaurant.
I was just going to say there's two.
It's 1 block away.
Question from Nicholas Egan. Have the Sharks officially announced their roster yet?
I don't know. I haven't looked. I don't know who they're going to call up in place of Kane.
Yeah, Paul's not sure about that. And Josh is class of 2021.
Wow. You haven't even graduated yet.
But that's awesome.
That's great. Is he drafting right now?
Good question. Josh, are you drafting right now? In my best radio voice. Do you think Prout is going to be enough with Kane out?
No.
That's a lowercase no or an uppercase no?
Well, Prout's not going to get much ice time. So I understand what he's asking. He's asking if they're worried about England and Reeves basically running amok.
Hey, maybe we should do a roll call.
Sure.
Where are all you guys from? Tell us how you found us. You can also add whether or not you're drafting or say you're not drafting. And just lurking, I guess.
Lurking.
Yeah. This is the kind of stream I would lurk on. Like, what are all those numbers?
I think this draft is going a little faster than last night's.
Yeah. Jack Frost is going to be class of 2022.
Wow.
Got a lot of future grads in the room here.
Yeah, it's cool. How did you guys hear about us? Did you know we were Bellarmine guys before
we talked about it a lot.
Well, I was just wondering if they heard it through the Bellarmine channel at all.
Yeah, we got to get it announced on campus.
Yeah.
Paul Sunseri, San Jose. I found you when I helped create the show. Well, that's an epic one. That is going on screen.
Yes.
That is some special class right there.
Look at that picture.
With the sunglasses? Yeah. Are those Barracuda sunglasses?
I think so.
And is that a real beard?
Yeah.
That's a real beard.
By the way, Paul and I are both going to be doing Movember this year.
Less than a month away. It's October 1 now.
I'm going to do this. I don't think it's called a handlebar. I don't know what it's called.
It's from Red Dead Redemption, right?
I gotta look this way. It's gonna go like this and down.
Are you gonna curl the mustache tips?
No, I don't think my mustache won't get long enough to curl. That would take months, and I only have 1 month to grow it. So, yeah.
And Paul in all caps, we have to embarrass him. I have to put this on screen as well. I made it to the Screeb.
Screeb?
And he corrects it. Screen.
Oh.
With a forehead smack. Screeb. Yeah. We're going to have a lot more inside jokes this coming season as well. It got really out of hand in the playoffs.
It did. It just kind of took a...
Yeah.
I can't even remember them all. One of them was a toaster. I think we got to get toaster.
Toaster, yeah. The blues blank.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. I couldn't think of what it was.
I'm sure we can repeat it. The blues cream.
Right.
So that came up. Paul's claiming not to be doing Movember.
What?
I'm not doing Movember.
Why not? Oh, I'm up. Gonna take another defenseman. Pretty happy with the defenseman I got. Although I forgot Klingberg has high skin in now. Hopefully Klingberg still clings on to his power play.
I see what you did there.
Oh,
that's a joke.
Man. Oh, so good. So good.
The dad jokes are going to roll too.
Man.
Sorry, kids. You can throw candy at the screen. A couple more roll calls. You got Alex from Carmichael, California.
Nice.
Drafting better than all of you. to be determined.
You know what I was thinking for prizes? I was thinking we make it me being the cutoff line. If you do better than me in fantasy, you get a prize. And if you do worse, nothing. All right,
Thank you, Keith. Not drafting, just listening. West San Jose, always love the live shows. Continue to tune in. We're going to do them every week, Sunday, 9:30 p.m. Pacific.
I am excited. Anyone watching the game anywhere special tomorrow? The not home opener, but the season opener.
Drop it in the chat. Josh from the San Mateo area found you online one day, then DM'd you, and you eventually told me to go Bells, and I'm in love with the show. I'm the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Ah, he's drafting right now. Or he's got one more pick, and it's his turn.
And here's another insider. Christopher, this draft makes my body tingle.
Oh, that's another, yeah. I think we're going to have to make a shirt or
There's
sticker.
a lot of t-shirt lines coming out of these.
Yeah.
We got Andrew, Bell class of 10. I found out about you guys while talking to you in line for the picture with the cup during the All-Star Fan Fest.
That must have been Paul. He was in line. He got a picture with the cup.
Awesome.
That's sweet.
I'm not going to post what Paul said. Paul's getting censored.
Okay.
Luis from Miami, Florida. Welcome.
Paul got censored. That's awesome.
Paul did just get censored. Keep it G-rated. We got kids in the room. And Paul wants you to stop giving away all of our stuff. First place, that's it.
No, Paul. No.
Luis Vasquez just moved here from Blossom Hill Road in San Jose last December, so I think he's the one that relocated to Miami, Florida. Jack Frost is watching from his dorm room.
Oh, what school? Santa Clara? Probably going to take, 30 seconds to get a response?
Yeah, we're a little bit delayed.
It's like we're in Mars. Or the moon. What was Mars, like 8 minutes?
I think so. Or is that the amount of time it takes for sunlight to hit the Earth? Scientists, chime in. Astrophysicists. The Fin Factor makes my body tingle shirt. That's going to confuse a lot of parents out there. Paraphrasing what Jack is saying.
That's why I think it should be a sticker.
Yeah, we could do stickers. Stickers are fun.
More stickers.
Laptop stickers.
Yep. Make it a little bit bigger than the ones that we had.
Go bigger or go home?
I think a little bit bigger than these ones.
So more like we call them a tech tattoo.
You know what I like to do? I like to get magnets made for cars. Bumper, instead of a bumper sticker.
Yeah.
A magnet made for cars. Because
Yeah.
like you put this on your car, once it gets wet, it falls apart. I think that'd be cool. Oh, Miro Heiskanen. I thought he was already drafted, and I mentioned him earlier. He just got drafted. Whoops. My bad. Oh, well. I think I'm going to take... oh, man. I hope nobody takes who I want to take. I'm not going to say it. And
cutting away.
It's all right.
Andrew confirms 8 minutes for the light from the sun to hit the Earth. I think it's Hollywood that makes us think it takes 8 minutes for Mars communications to hit the Earth.
Well, no, there was the book that became a movie.
The rover, the robots we have on Mars.
No, the movie. Well, yeah,
that's
robots.
What I'm saying is I think Hollywood polluted our minds with this 8 minute thing.
No, what was the book with Matt
Damon?
Matt Damon.
Team America.
No.
That's the reference.
The one, yeah, but the one where he went to Mars. It's based on a book, and the
Total
guy,
Recall.
and that's a good one.
It was based on a book, a short story.
Was it really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. That guy did a lot of research on what would actually happen on Mars and stuff, so it was very realistic.
The Martian?
The Martian?
With Matt Damon?
Is that what it's called?
That movie?
The Martian? Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew just wrote The Martian.
Yep. The guy who
Growing
wrote the
food
book.
and all that stuff. The storms.
Exactly. It's all very plausible.
Mm-hmm.
I like those kinds of stories.
Like Interstellar.
That was plausible, wasn't it?
Sure. Uh-huh. And the Tesseract. And saying goodbye to your daughter who's older than you. Yes.
It could happen.
What's the best Sharks item or jersey that you own? Or that we have on the set? Because look at this beautiful set. Ain't it a beauty? It's a little empty in the center there. But
yeah, this was my first favorite player on the Sharks. Ulf Dahlin. And what's really cool is the Sharks traded for his son, who was a prospect, and left to go play in Sweden, or probably Switzerland because I said Sweden. He went back to play.
Same thing.
Another inside joke, huh? He went overseas this season to play because he wanted more playing time, which isn't a bad thing, but it's not great. Otherwise, he would have been on the Barracuda this year. But he's like just like his dad, very smooth skater, playmaker. I was very excited because I was like, I can wear this again. How awesome would it be if he was number 22? If he ever made the Sharks, it'd be pretty sweet.
What about your Korean Sharks jersey?
Oh, I gotta dig that out. I don't even remember where I have it.
Probably mom and dad's house.
Yeah, our dad went to Korea for work one year, a long time ago, and
he didn't go for a whole year. He just went.
Sorry,
one of those years.
One of those years, he went for like a week trip for work, and he picked up a Sharks jersey for me. It's a Joe Thornton Sharks jersey, and it's a knockoff, and it's horrendous because, all right, my defensemen are covered. It's horrendous because it looks like they had a JPEG that was blown up in really bad quality, and they just hand created it in probably Microsoft Word or Paint, and the logo was off. Like this fin is like completely curved. This one too, like it's not a sharp edge, it's like curved, and it looks so off. The numbers, the font, everything is off. So I got to find it and bring it in here because it's so bad that it's great, and I loved it.
Can we get it signed?
Joe,
Paul,
look at
Paul
him
has
like,
stories about that.
What is this? You know, it'd be great if I had Calvin bring that up. My son, my 3-year-old son. Here, go ask him to sign this. And Joe looks at it and goes, here, take this one off and have this one instead. That's real.
Burn the other one.
Yeah. Let's see. Right now, we have skater positions, and that's just a utility. It could be any position other than a goalie, essentially. So we have 2 of those spots. So that's my last... Wait, what? Oh, I'm going to take Andrzej Kopitar, which I'm shocked is still available this late. Man, I feel like that's a steal right there in the 14th round. So we only have 4 more picks left, and now I'm essentially loading up my bench. But it's different. It's different than football. If you only play fantasy football, because it's daily lineups. Football, they only play once a week, so you really have to decide who you're benching, who you're starting. Hockey, you can rotate those guys in to make sure that you have as full of a lineup as you can as possible every day. So again, this is the point where I'm kind of looking at most of these guys left are going to be similar. There's not going to be a guy. You're not going to find a 100-point guy at this point. So now you kind of want to fill in with guys that play on those off days, so you can just get something going. So I'm kind of looking right now. I think that's a pretty good little sleeper. I also like to look at the average draft position to see what overall this is what people were doing. Oh, maybe I'll take another goalie, actually. That's not a terrible idea. I forgot who... I like this pick right here. I'm going to take that.
Yeah, we're not showing them.
Did you take it off?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm just going to load up my queue because I got a ways to go before I pick again. So some of these guys could be taken by the time it comes back around.
How does this team compare so far to what you picked last night?
It's very different. Last night, again, if you weren't here earlier, I took goalies kind of earlier. So, oh yeah, they just took him, the guy I wanted. So this time I kind of went goalies a lot later, and I'm still pretty happy with Hellebuck and Hart. And I'll probably get one more. I like to have at least 3, sometimes even 4 if I have a guy that's kind of a backup. I don't know. They're very different teams. What'll be interesting to see is what team is going to do better. I definitely have better defensemen than the team I drafted last night. Last night I was a little all over the place. I wish I had uploaded my rankings in like I did today. I forgot you could do that until today. So last night really was like a trial run for me and everybody. And those last rounds were really messing with us because we couldn't take some people. So I'm just going to fill in some. I've read a lot of Dauber. I also did my draft for my big money team on Saturday, so that's kind of fresh in my head. And you kind of know like some of the sleepers that those guys took. So it's all in my head of who I should target, kind of. So it's kind of hard to talk about it. I don't know. Any other questions on there?
Scroll around. I don't think so. Paul's favorite memorabilia is definitely the signed Jamal Mayers puck that he won when Aaron was doing a contest, probably through Barrier Bias.
Oh, yeah. Paul Sunseri?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize Paul won that. That's awesome. I forgot I did that. Yeah, I used to write for a website that's now defunct, but called Barrier Bias. So it was a buddy of mine he actually went to Bellarmine freshman year. Then he transferred out after first semester, but our lockers were right next to each other, so I got to know him pretty well. And we stayed friends. And then we had some mutual friends. Actually, Marshall was on the show, and he and Marshall were friends because he went to Mission High School.
Marshall.
So we were all kind of interconnected again. And Marshall and I went to college together. That's how I know Marshall. We were roommates afterwards too. So anyway, this guy had started this blog called Barrier Bias, and it was essentially him and a buddy that were writing about the Giants. And this was in 2009 or 10, right before the year before, or I guess the year that they won their first World Series. So they were living right down the street from the stadium. They were all up into it. So they reached out to me. He reached out to me randomly saying, "Hey, I know you're a big Sharks fan, and we have no one writing about the Sharks. Would you be interested?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll give it a try." So I did it for, I don't know, 4 years or something. Just writing, every now and then, every other week or so, maybe once a month towards the end. Then they kind of lost interest after about 2-3 years, and so I took over the entire site and was running the site, trying to find writers to put some content down on a bunch of, every team. So we had some people writing about the Warriors. We had some on the A's, the Giants still, I already said the Warriors, the Niners.
The Quakes.
The Quakes, I was writing about the Quakes as well. And I also was taking pictures. Jason and I had a media pass for the Quakes, so we got to go on the field and take pictures, which is awesome. That was during the Buckshaw days. And then I think a little bit bled into when they got the new stadium. So that was a lot of fun. That was really cool being on the field. Oh, I got a pick coming up. And there it is. Time to pick.
Is Barzal still there? Paul's asking.
He was taken. I was about to take him, but I'm trying not to pick the guys that I picked last night. So I let him go, and someone else got I'm going to take Corey Schneider because I think he's going to have a good bounce back year. And New Jersey's pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with my 3 goalies. And he's as my 3rd goalie. If he gets hurt again or Blackwood takes over, no worse for the wear. At that point, I'll probably just drop him. I'll just keep him. Whatever. And now, again, looking at those guys that play on those off nights, or maybe some sleepers here and there. Niederreiter, that's a pretty good pick right there. That's a good sleeper. That was just taken, not by me. And now I'm up, and they just took Travis Konechny, which is another good one. I'm going to take Jacob Vrana. He's a left winger in Washington. Can I do it? Is it let me? Good. Burakovsky left. I think he's in Colorado now. I can't remember where he went. So that opened up a top 6 spot for Vrana, and he's like a pure sniper. So that guy will get me some goals, and I think he's going to be on the top power play with the big boys, Ovechkin, Backstrom, and Tom Wilson. Oh, speaking of Tom Wilson, is he taken? He had to have been taken.
Do you think Meyer could step up tomorrow with Kane out?
What do you mean step up? I think they're different kind of players, I think.
Paul says he'll step up regardless.
Yeah, he's going to have to. I mean, he has to all season. He knows that. He kind of signed a semi-big contract, so he's going to have to live up to it in a way.
And Josh asked a question, how does one get into sports writing journalism?
That was just a blog. So Jason, my brother, helped me out hosting the site. We kind of tweaked the logo a little bit, changed it up, and we did it through WordPress. If you wanted to start your own blog, you can do it. WordPress is probably the easiest and simplest way, even if you know nothing about website hosting or doing anything. It's a pretty good start.
Self-publish.
What's that?
Self-publish.
Yeah.
That's establishing your portfolio of work, establishing your voice. Our guys on Black and Azul are sports journalists background as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they almost each run their own site, right?
Yeah. Alex Morgan, he's 17 years old. He started when he was 14. And because he carries himself as an adult and he walks in with confidence, you would never have thought he was still a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
So it's establishing your voice and your professionalism, that if you treat it seriously, you will be treated serious. If you show up to the stadium dressed in a full suit, no one's going to ask any questions because you don't look like a fan.
Yeah, it's definitely about...
And you ask for introductions. You get to know who the other writers are, who the other press people are. There's a lot of camaraderie in the press box. Everybody knows each other. They all appreciate each other's work in any sport. And job opportunities come out of it really, really quickly. I think Joel announced he's working for he got a pretty big opportunity and he took it. And I believe it's with NBC Sports. He was already writing articles for MLSsoccer.com. I want to say he has a dozen articles
Crazy.
On their homepage this past season.
Yeah.
On the homepage. Like, not buried, making it to the homepage. So, write what you can. If you're still in school, write for your school paper. Make stuff online.
Write. I remember I was actually a history major in college, and it's essentially like an English major. You're reading a lot, and then you're writing a lot of papers. And I remember we used to get, I think one of my classes, you had to turn in a 5-paragraph essay every class. And it was so like, oh my gosh. And after, I don't know, a month, you got used to it, and it was so easy. It came so quick. It really is just practice. You just keep writing and writing and writing. And yeah, you're going to get writer's block every now and then, but if you read a lot and you write a lot, you're going to get better and better, and you'll figure out your own kind of style. So my style, I like to, in my older articles, I used to try and add a lot of humor into it to kind of lighten it up a little bit more. And I would add a lot of links in there too, like just funny stuff, like little pictures of random things that I'd find on the internet to go with my point. So I had fun with it. It got to be a little bit too much after a while, just because my life just got busier. You know, it happens when you get older and you get married and have kids. So your time becomes more and more valuable, and it's a commodity. So just practice, like keep writing a lot, and put it out there. Put it out there for people to give you feedback. And it's amazing what you can grow and what you can do. I mean, it's amazing what we did here in a year. Like, we were not expecting to grow as fast as we did, and we did. And be consistent. That's the other thing. Once you start getting fans and people interested, you got to be consistent. Otherwise, they're just going to lose it, or you're going to lose them, and that won't be as fun. Now I'm up. I like Sam Reinhart. I'm going to take him. I think that's a pretty good... Right now, it's just sleepers. We're going after sleepers. And then I think I got one more pick to do. Ooh, who am I going to do?
Alphabetical order.
Bushnevich on the Rangers.
I saw Nicholas ask, when can we expect the Fan Fest episode to drop?
That's a good question, Jason.
Yeah, throw that question to Jason. Have Jason answer that one.
We did our jobs, me and Paul. We did our jobs.
You do have a live stream that's available with all the hot takes and information. The Fan Fest, we interviewed some fans. We have a couple other high-level interviews on there as well, and we got some footage of the players making autographs for all the fans that queued in the lines around the arena. So it's probably around 25% edited at this point. It'll probably get done hopefully in the next few days. Doing these live streams at night have taken away my time, and I work during the day. So it's coming soon, very soon.
I do have a Chicago player. I don't have a Ranger player. I think I'm going to take a Ranger. Bushnevich.
Are you excited about the pre- and post-game coverage with Hannon joining Brody and Brownie?
Oh, I didn't realize that. I like Scott Hannon. I think he's got some good insights. And everybody loves to chirp Scott Hannon when we interview former players on the show. Everybody has a story and something to say about Hannon, which is hilarious. So I think what we're going to try and do is we obviously want to get him on the show, Scott Hannon. But I think we might push it off a little bit so we can get some more other players to talk more smack about him, and then bring him on and see what he can retort back to them. Apparently, awesome. Hannon chirped a lot when he played, and not so much against the other. I mean, I'm sure against the other team, but to his own teammates. Like he was one of those guys that had a lot of fun. There's a really good story from Mark Smith when we interviewed him. They were in training camp together when they first arrived, fresh-faced Shark, not even on the team yet. And I think the story goes where they were in the hotel. They were at the Hilton, I think, in downtown. And, in training camp, you have no idea how long you're going to stay, if you're going to get cut, get sent back down to the minors or back to your junior team. And Smitty comes in and he puts his stuff on the bed, his bag. And Hannon had already completely unpacked, fully expecting to stay for the entire training camp. He thought that was mind-boggling. So he thought that was pretty funny. So anyway, I obviously did not do it justice. You should go back and watch the episode of him getting interviewed.
So we do have John Root in our Fan Fest getting interviewed with 2 questions. It's probably less than 2 minutes of on-screen time, and then he got a phone call and had to jolt to another part of the arena.
Yeah, he had to fill in for Jamie Baker. Was supposed to do some segment out there, and I think he was completely stuck in traffic or something, so he wasn't going to make it. So John Root got a phone call in the middle of our interview. So it got kind of cut short.
So I think we add it.
You think we do or we don't?
Because we talk about it in the intro.
Yeah.
I can't Greek that out.
So we're gonna have Root back on again.
Yeah. He wants to come back.
Yeah. So we'll have him in studio. And we will be upgrading and changing our studio very soon too.
Oh yeah, we got some exciting stuff.
So the look is gonna be completely different. We have a new theme song.
The upside down for Stranger Things.
Yeah. You'll see all kind of floating particles around.
Just for Halloween. Oh, by the way, today they announced Season 4, Greenlight.
Last pick. We're done. Man, we finished way faster than last night.
This draft has been completed.
That's fantastic.
Before 10 p.m.
That's crazy. That was, we started at 8:45. Just a little over an hour and 10 minutes.
People know what they're doing.
Yep. They must have watched last night.
Very good. Are you in the chat room chatting?
Yeah, I'm just thanking
This
everybody.
is really exciting now.
Sorry. All right, I'm going to close this up and turn this off.
Why don't you plug our merch?
I'm going to plug some stuff. So we got, obviously, you just watched our fantasy draft. We also have the EASHL team on both Xbox and PlayStation. Paul and I both play PlayStation. Patrick Cabral is running the Xbox team. So if you look on either one, if you want to join, look for the abbreviation TFF. That's probably the easiest way to find it. And make sure your region is changed to, I think it's either the West or North America. I can't remember what they break it down, but someone was searching in the wrong region, so they couldn't find it. So that's EASHL. What we're going to do during the season for both Fantasy and EASHL, we're going to do just a quick minute recap of the week. So so for those teams, if you're on there, and we're just going to do a screenshot of the stats so far, like the running stats of everybody, and just do a quick take. And then if you record any of the games and you get any highlights of any goals or anything you want to score, send those to us before Sunday, and we can put it on the show real quick. We'll also do a highlight of each of our fantasy teams, so do a minute and kind of show the standings and see where everybody's at. It'll be kind of funky because it's Sunday evening, Sunday night, so the standings won't be completely updated. They get updated on Monday morning, but we'll at least know kind of where everyone is going to be at. We also have merch, so we sell these hats in our store, and all the proceeds go to help fund the show and upgrade everything. You see these graphics down here. We got to upgrade these, so none of that is free. So we also have this shirt behind me. So we have these in gray. Here, I'll pull it off so you can see a little bit better. We got our shirts in gray and black and teal, and we also have a women's deep V black shirt and the hats, like I said earlier, and we have some stickers. So anything you buy helps support the show, and it look great, and they're all in Sharks colors, so it matches your Sharks gear, so you don't have to be all fin vectored out. If you ever see me and Paul out, feel free to say hi to us. We're very friendly, and we love to take pictures, and then we'll post those on our Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and whatever else. Speaking of, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook at the Fin Factor. Instagram is Fin Factor because some little kid still owns the Fin Factor.
We've got to get that claimed.
Yeah, we do. Obviously, you're watching us on YouTube, but please subscribe if you have not subscribed. That helps us grow, and we would love to grow very much. So thank you for watching and appreciate it. And Paul and I will be back here on Sunday nights, and we'll have some recaps, finally, of the Sharks regular season games. No more, preseason stuff, shenanigans and suspensions and whatnot.
We'll still have shenanigans.
Definitely during the live. And hopefully all those gremlins are gone.
It seems smooth so far.
Yeah. Also, you see the set. I know we're going to change some stuff around, but if you ever wanted to add stuff to it, feel free to reach out and send it to us. Like this is from a fan. It's a picture of Owen Nolan and Doug Wilson autographed, which is pretty cool. We got a couple sticks. We got a couple other stuff. We got this bowling pin randomly. So it's a lot of random stuff, which we love. So yeah.
No more baubles. No more baubles.
No more baubles. Well, they do keep breaking, so we're rotating them around. But that's a wrap. Before 10 p.m. How about that? Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you on Sunday.
Super.
Go Sharks.